Welcome back to the channel. So today we will be solving this very important problem in PySpark. So I took this problem from Ankit Bansal's YouTube channel, and here in this problem we have been given the employee data, that is employee ID, and then punch time, basically when he is punching his card, and this is the flag. So I indicates that it is in, right, and O indicate out. So here I indicates in, that is when employee is entering in the office, and O indicate out, that is when he is leaving the office, right? And in a day, there can be a multiple in and out, right? So whenever we go out of the office, we punch in the card, and whenever we comes, then it is uh, whenever we comes, it is in, and whenever go out, it is out, right? So this data we have been given, and we need to find for each and every employee, how, like what was the time for which he was inside the office, and that too we need to find in hours. We find in hours, right? So this is the problem statement, and you can see you can read it here. Find the total number of hours each employee was inside the office. So this is the task, and let's solve this. So let me explain you the approach, how we can approach, and then we will convert this approach into the um, code, right? So let me start. Let me erase this also, just to have few spaces. Mm, okay. So what we can do, as we know, like, so for each out, like for each out record, what if we can get the in time? Like, and as we know, like every in will be followed by out, right? Every in will be followed by out, and similarly, every out will be followed by in, right? Okay, so right, every in will be followed by out, and every out will be followed by in, right? This we know. So what if we sort this data in a ascending order of punch time? Then we will get in, out, in, out, in, out, right? And since we need to find on the employee ID level, so we can use the partition. So we can, like, we use the window function and partition the data. So this is partition 1, and this is partition 2, right? This is partition 1 and this is partition 2. And then for each employee, like for each record, we can find the what was the in time corresponding to each out time, right? Corresponding to each out time, we can find the in time. Let me explain what exactly I mean to say. Um, so let's say if we want to get the out, like what was the in time. So let's get the in time basically, or we can say that as previous punch time, PPT, right? So for this record, what is the previous punch time? This is null, right? Because there is no punch before this. What is the what is the previous punch time? For this, it is 8:30. Similarly, what is the punch time for this? It is 10:30. What is the punch time for this record? It is 11:30, right? So this is for, okay, I'm like new to this. So, okay. So what is similarly? So this we have done for ID1, right? This we have done for ID1, that is 1114. So similarly, we need to find for this also, like we will use the partition by, right? We will use the partition by on which column? We will partition the data on employee column, employee ID, and we will get the data, right? So what is the previous for this one? So since this is first record for this ID, so the previous will be null. And what is the previous record for this one? It is 9:30. So now we have for each and every ID, now we have the previous record time, right? Previous record time. So what is the next thing? What is the next thing that we can do? So let me erase those things. So now we have the previous time, like when what in and out, right, for each record. So what we can do now, we can find the difference, right? So like one thing before this, what we can do, we can filter out the I record because we don't need, right? We just need the difference between in and out. So this will give us the output, right? Not this one. The in record will not give us anything, right? So what we can do, we can find the difference between these two. So this is null only. So what is the difference between these two? So 830 minus 8, sorry, 1030 minus 830 is 2 hour. Similarly, 1130 minus 1030 is 1 hour. And here 1530 minus 1130. So what is the difference? So it is 15 minus 11, it is 4, right? So this is 4, right? So similarly here it is null. And for this record, the difference would be 8, right? 8. So this we got the difference, right? This we got the difference in R, and this is what we need, right? Difference in the R. So next, what we can do, we can just do the summation, like group by the data on the employee ID and get the summation of the this timing this difference. There also we need to sum the data where only where the flag is O, right? Where the flag is O. So what we can do, we can write the case when statement, right? We can write the case when. So here in PySpark, how we will write? We will write like this: when this column flag is equal to O, at that time, what we need to do, if it is O, okay, I accidentally close the bracket. So whenever the this flag will be O, at that time we need the difference value, right? We need the difference value, difference column, right? And otherwise, what we need? We need 0, right? Otherwise, we don't want to sum. So let's see. For this, we will group the data based on the employee ID, and we will check if it is O, then we will sum. Because here we are getting the difference, like what was the time for which he was inside the office. So if we see for this employee ID one first, so the first value is, let me change the color. So here if you see 2 and 4, so the summation is 6, right? We got 6. Similarly, for this one, since here we have only one record with O, so the summation will be 8 and we are getting the required output. So this we need to code, right? And let's start. Let me go into the Databricks notebook and start the coding. Okay, so here if you see, we have this Spark session, and then we are like creating the data, and this the second column, that is punch time. This is in the uh, datetime column, right? This is a datetime column, so we are creating that, or we can say that the timestamp, and this is the third column is flag, and then here we are creating the schema. Basically, the first record employee ID, it is a long type, and then punch time, it is a timestamp, and the flag is string type, right? And here we are creating the data frame. Let me run it again. So, okay, now we have the data over. So total we have 6 records, 4 for the first ID, second 2 for the second ID. So let's see the schema, right? What is the df? So df dot print schema. Print schema. Okay, so we have the long, timestamp, and string, right? So let's start. So let's import few things. So we will be we will, so as we are applying the window function, so we need to import the window, and then we are using the sum. So we will import all those things. So from PySpark.sql import window, right? And then similarly from PySpark.sql.functions, right? Import. So we will need call and then we will need sum, right? Let's see if we will need anything else, we will import it. Let's run this. Okay. So as we discuss here, the first step will be getting the previous punch time, right? So if we get the previous punch time, then we will get the corresponding input time for each output time, and then we can find the difference, right? So let's do that. So how we can get? So we can write here df previous punch time ppt, right? And we can write df dot with column, right? Since we want to generate a new column, right? So whenever we need to generate a new column, we use the with column clause, right? So with column, and let's give the name as previous punch time, right? And since we want a lag, right? Lag, using lag we can find. So we can write here lag of which column we want. Lag of which column? Lag of punch time column, right? Because this is the timestamp column. Lag of punch, and then over, and we need to find the we need to write the window over here. Window. Let's write the object over here and let's define the window over here. Window. How we can write the window? So since we are using lag, so we will have to import lag also, right? And let's write the window. So window will be window dot, we want to partition the data based on what? As we saw here, we need to partition the data on employee ID, right? So we can write employee ID, EMP ID, right? So let's do that. Partition the data and then order the data. So we want to order the data based on what? We want to order the data based on the timestamp, because every in is followed by out and every out is followed by in. And let's run this. So df ppt, right? Dot so. Let's, instead of so, let's use this display, right? Display of df ppt, and let's run this. Lag is not defined. Okay, I think we have not ran this. Okay, let's again run this. Spark job is getting run. Okay, now you can see here we have the data, right? We have the data. So for each punch, like we have the previous value, right? For this one, the previous is 8:30. Similarly, for this, the previous is 10:30, and so on and so forth, right? So what is the next step? As we discussed, after finding the previous punch time, we need to find the difference, right? Difference between these two timestamps. So, and that too, we need to find difference in hours. Let's see how we can get the difference between two timestamp in hours, right? So let's write df diff, right? Diff is equal to, we need to generate one new column. So how we generate a new column? We generate a new column with the help of with column, right? And let's give the name as day diff, and then we need to find a difference between these two columns. So let's write call of which column? Punch time minus previous punch time, right? Previous punch time. So let's import this also. Okay. So we have these two columns, and let me run this, and I will show you. Dot so. Let's use the so only because I'm used to it. Let me run this. Okay. Now you can find, you can see here, the difference is like this. It is an interval object. So instead of this, we want this in hours, right? So what we can do, we can cast this into LongType. I will show you in the board. Okay. Let's cast this into the long. Cast this into the long, and again let's run this. Let's see what we are getting. Okay. So whenever we cast these things into long, the date value, and then we find the difference. It is coming in the seconds. It is coming in the second, right? So how we can convert a second into minute, right? That we will see over here. That we will see over here. So let's say I have 60 seconds, right? I have 60 seconds. So this is in second. I want to convert it into minute and then in hour, right? So I want to convert 60 seconds into minutes. So how we can do? We know 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds, right? And then 1 hour equal to 60 minutes, right? So we can do, this is in the second, so we need to convert into the hour. So it would be a minute, so it would be 60 divided by 60. So it would be 1 minute. So 1 minute equal to 60 seconds that we got. And then to convert a minute into hour, again we will have to divide by 60. So this will be a hour, right? Similarly, if you see here, we have the value as uh, 7200. So 7200. So this is in what? Second, right? So this is in the second. We need to convert this first in minute. So it would be 00 divided by 60. So this will be 120 minute. This will be let me again check. Yeah. So this will be in 120 minute, right? And then again we need to convert this minute into hour, right? So 120 minute we need in hours, right? We need hours. So what we can do, 120 divided by 60. So will be 2 hours. So instead of again and again dividing by 60 and then 60, so what we can do, we can directly write 3600. How? So let's say if we have 7200, we divide by 60 and then again divide by 60. So as we know in maths, this will come here, right? So we can write 7200 divided by 60 into 60. So this is similar, this is 3600, right? 3600, and this is nothing but 2, right? So this we can get it here. So now we have in seconds. So let's divide this by 3600, right? Let's run it again. Okay, now you can see the value. It is in hours, right? It is in hours. So, okay, now we have reached till this step, right? We have got the difference in the timing. Now we need to sum the data where the flag is zero, where the flag is zero. For this, what we need to do, we need to group the data on the employee ID and then find the sum of out record. So how we can do? Let's name the df as df answer, because here we will get the answer equal to df. What was the name? Df diff, right? Df diff dot we need to group the data. So group by on which column? Employee ID, right? Because for each employee we need, and as I have mentioned a lot of time before also, wherever you see each keyword, that means we need to apply a group by clause, right? So group the data on employee ID and then we need to aggregate. So aggregate, we need to find the sum, and then sum of what? We need to apply the case when statement. So here in PySpark, it is when call of which column? We need to look into the flag column, right? Whenever the flag is equal to O, at that time we need a value, call of which column? Difference column. And whenever it is not the case, then we just need 0, right? And since we are using when over here, so we need to import the when also. Let me not import and let's run this. Then you can see the error also and we will learn, right? Dot stop. Okay. So if you see, we have not imported when, that's why we are getting this error. So let me import it here. So when, let's run this and again run this. Okay, otherwise can only be applied into column. Okay. Okay, I have not closed the bracket, I think. Yeah, I have not closed the bracket. Let me run it again. Okay, there is a mismatch. Mm, okay, I think now this is clear. Okay. Okay. Now you can see for each ID, we got the sum of the time for which the employee was inside the office. But if you see here, the column name is not pretty, right? This is the case when it is writing. So instead, what we can do, we can alias this. So before aliasing this, see if you see, this is in the double like float format. So let's cast this into int as we want this into the int format. So let's cast and then let's alias the value, alias this as total time, right? Total time. Let's run this again. Okay, now you can see we have got the output. For employee with ID ending with 4, it is 6, and 5, it is 8. And if you see here, we here also we had got 6 and 8, right? So yes, if you like this content, please do like, subscribe, and share the channel. And whatever you like and dislike about this content, do comment in the comment box. And you can find a lot of interview related stuff on this channel. So you can check out that also. Let's meet in the next problem. Until then, bye.